All right, welcome to Gray Lawn Racing. Last weekend I wired up the haptics. I did a couple of videos and showed what I had going on there, but I actually wired them up. And then last Saturday night I did some races with them. I did one race in the BMW M2 at Suzuka, or whatever the hell you call that track. And that you feel it a lot in that car. I was in the BMW M2, the new car. And I also ran the VW at Daytona. I was taken out in the very first corner, so I don't know about that car. And then I ran the ARCA car, which you never lock up the brakes or do any kind of ABS that would get that sensor going, get that transducer going. So I had one race to check it out. It was kind of, to be honest, you know how it is, like if you get a new stereo or new speakers and you're sitting there just trying to listen to the speakers, and you need to calm down or forget about the speakers and listen to the music coming out of the speakers. Well, I was trying too hard to pay attention to what the brakes felt like, and I wasn't driving good. You need to drive enough to where it's you're used to it and you're not like waiting for it. But my first impression, when I had to turn it way down, my first impression was it was a little bit annoying. And so now I know that the brakes are locking up, ABS brakes in the M2. What good does that data do me? How can I use that data to my good? So let's take a look at some of the parts we got going on to get that thing wired up. So here's the amplifier. This is a Dayton SA100 100 watt amplifier. They call it a plate amplifier. I have two of those and I've had them for several years. I didn't buy them for this project. So here is the transducers, or shakers they call them. This is it says Dayton Audio, but I think they changed the name on some of this stuff. They're literally identical, but they say Aura shakers on them, AURA. They are 4 ohm and 50 watt. I have 4 of those, and I've had those for years as well. I did not, like I said, I did not buy them for this project. Here are the left and right side transducers. They're mounted on some brackets that were left over from like networking equipment where you mount a switch in a network rack, etc. I also had there 4, I'm using 2 right there, but I have 4 6x6 1/8-inch steel square plates that came from Amazon, I believe, and they have a hole in each corner, which for this application I didn't use. I drilled them specifically for the Aura, and then they went on, have an angle bracket mounted on the side of the aluminum rig, and then that plate's on top of that. It should be pretty sturdy. If it tends to wobble under the transducer activating, I may have to weld a gusset on those, but I don't think so. I think they'll be fine. So here we have the console out of 2 rigs ago, and I still have the amps mounted in those. Those were the center console of the rig, and the amps were mounted on the outside, shifter on top and whatnot. I need to build a stand to mount those in. I'll build something that looks like the wheel stand and mount the amps in that. Then we have the haptics directly mounted to the pedals, the adapter to mount that haptic transducer onto the pedal I purchased on eBay. I'll put some links in there in the description to that. And then the little puck itself is a Dayton. I forget the wattage, but I'll look that up. So I couldn't find any electric tape. I just put some painter tape on those connections. I need to get my radio control car and airplane box out and get some connectors that I have to solder on there so that I can remove and replace those when I need to. It was just too much to go looking for all that right now. I'll bundle all that up later. For now, it works. I did drive with it. Like I said, I could feel it. All right, you can see there at Parts Expresses, which is where I bought all this stuff, but it's been a long time, like 6 or 8 years since I bought it all. I recently bought this part, but the Aura shakers and the amps I literally bought 6 or 8 years ago. So you can see the little puck transducer for the brake is only $18, but the Aura shakers are $94. That's a pretty significant price there. All right, you can see here the 100 watt amp is $147.98. That's on sale. I think the regular price said it was $198. I didn't pay that much for them. I don't remember actually what I paid for, but depending on what your project is, though, If you see this one down below there, that's a 25 watt and it's only 50 bucks. So that's probably good for a lot of things and certainly worth $50 when this one costs 150. So if you got like a small, I have another small little transducer that I used to have near the shifter. You could easily power that with one of these $50 amps and not spend so much money on that 100 watt plate amp. It's kind of dark on the back of the rig, but I'm using an external USB sound card. This just plugs in USB, and then the input goes to the amplifier that I showed you in the other picture. This is inexpensive. It's only $15-20 or whatever. You can use your onboard sound card, but I was having troubles with mine because at some point Windows Update uninstalled it and then it reinstalled it, and I had some issues with it. So I already had this USB sound card as well, so I just went ahead and used that. But you can use your onboard sound. All right, here we are over here in the rig. I got SimHub open on the main screen right here. What you want to do is go to Shake It Bass Shakers, and then you'd go to Sound Output, and you tell it which sound card you're going to use. You can delete a sound card or change it here. You can see here it's my USB sound device. So the green input, and then there's left and right. I forget which one I used. Sorry, I should have checked that. So you have the green input, left and right. One's going to be channel 1, one's going to be channel 2. I only have channel 2 configured right now. I have everything turned off. So you select custom channel map, and then you can, this is the sound card. And I wish it would tell you right here that channel 2 is green right, which is your front channel right. I wish it would put it into speaker terms. I don't think it does do that anywhere, but that's okay. Yeah, I got it turned down way low. See, on the volume here, it's at 70 something percent, but over here, I have it set down to 10. When I was driving, it was, like I said, it was, is it usable data or is it annoying? It was a little bit, need to get used to it, and then you can turn it up and down. But anyway, I have ABS turned on and I have wheel lock turned on. Wheel lock. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize. Rear left, front. We want all of those on for wheel lock. Oh, I didn't have that set right. She's got, yeah, see now here, and I got wheel spin and wheel lockup turned on that. This is what I'm mostly interested in, this wheel slip. I'm going to configure this for the back end of the two big Aura shakers. And that should, when you break loose, like if you're drifting, you're siding, the ass end comes loose, it should tell you that. Now, I think if you were going to put wheel slip on the front, I think you'd want transducers on the front so you could feel the car pushing. But right now, I'm only concerned about the back end. I got two shakers. I'm going to use those in series. I'll explain that in another video or something. But you have series and parallel. If you have one of these 100 watt amps in a 4 ohm shakers and you put them in series, it's fine. It comes out to give like 37 watts per shaker. If you put them in parallel, you're going to damage the shaker or the amp. So do not wire them in parallel. If you don't understand the difference between wiring something in parallel and in series, look that up. It's very simple, but if you've never had a reason to figure that out before, you know, so be it. But anyway, all we're looking at today is the brake pedal. So, and then again, I can feel it when I test it. Oh, that's channel 1. Let's see. Let's move these. Why would that have changed? Test. Yeah, you can probably hear that. I wish you could grab that slider, but I don't think you can. That's pretty good. I think I'll turn it up a little bit more. Now, when I'm hitting that test, watch this over here. This shows 2 channels. Yeah, so that's pretty good right there. Even with that just at 75
and this at 26. It's a pretty good shake. You don't want it to startle you. And this is pretty simple. I'm not going to go over installing SimHub. It's easy. There's nothing to it. So I got ABS active. Look at some of this other stuff. Gear grinding, gear shift, road impacts. Now see, like the rumble strips, I'm going to put some of that on, and maybe road vibration a little bit on the back. But things like engine vibration, you put all that on there, it can tend to get muddy and messy, and it's just shaking everywhere, and you don't know what's what. But anyway, here's a good look at SimHub. It's very easy to use. I just figured this out. I didn't even look at any videos or anything. But you want it on, I think you want it on this custom channel. You select one of these and there's not even enough stuff to adjust. I like this. You have all these options. All that looks great. That's pretty cool. Feels good on the pedal. And then the other amp, I'm going to put, like I said, in series to the back, and I'll do the slippage and maybe the rumble strips. All right, I got to take this video, get it over to the other machine, and we'll get it loaded up. All right, let me unconfuse you a little bit if I confused you. Now, I selected green, which is the front channel of your sound card. You could use black, it makes no difference. But I used green, which you split into left and right. And right now, I'm using green and left, which gives me channel 1. Green and right would give me channel 2. From the green output of the sound card goes to my amp, and that's split off. Right now I'm only using one. I'm using the green, and I believe it's white, which is left, and that's channel 1. I could use green with red, which would be right, in channel 2, and just move these over. I now have the green output of the sound card going to the left input of the subwoofer, and it comes out as channel 1. Anyway, there you go. Sorry I got a little confusing there. I'm using the green channel, which is the front speakers, and I'm using white, which is left, and I only want a few things on the pedal here. But to test this, you could put all kinds of crap on there. You could put missed gear just so you can see what it feels like. Put your foot on the pedal and miss a gear, but I've went through all that with SimVibe, and I had all kinds of stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, this feels cool. Well, after a while, it's just muddy. I want the haptics, not for immersion. Oh, this feels cool because it's all vibrating. That's not my point. I want the haptics to give me information I need to know, like when the ass end is starting to break loose or when the front wheels are starting to push. Now, I don't have enough amps to do all that right now. So I got one amp for the brake pedal, and the other amp I'm going to put with the transducers on the back in series and put that wheel slippage on there. I'm going to wire that up tomorrow. That's just a matter of plugging a few cables in and running speaker wires back there. And like I said, I have that whole brand new wire, that brand new spool of speaker wire. All right, that's looking good.
All right, so there you have it. Right now, if you're going to go set this up yourself from scratch, you got about $15 or $20 for a USB sound card. There's a whole bunch of those out there. Check on them, get some reviews and whatnot before you buy one. Mine is actually a Sabrent, Sabrent. It's the only one I've ever used like that, so I can't give you any advice as far as that goes. So you have a $15 sound card. The transducer that's on the brake right now was under $30. It was 20 something dollars. I think we looked at it on there, it was 19. I paid more than that. It's only 19 right now. The mount on eBay to mount that to the Asetek pedals was less than $30. It was about 27. She got 20 for the transducer. Let's just call it 30 for the mount. So you're at 50. And then 150 for the amp, which you don't need an amp that big, but you may as well. So you're at 200 right there. That's kind of a lot, huh? 200, and then maybe $15 or $20 in miscellaneous little cables. Cables are a couple bucks a piece. You probably have speaker wire laying around already. If not, old lamp cord or something will work. So in this scenario, you know, the two $94 shakers, I'm not using those yet. That'll be for what I wire up tomorrow. And I'll give another review with that going. I'm kind of anxious. I think the wheel slippage that I want to put on the back is going to be far more intuitive and useful than the pedal. I'm not crazy about the haptic of the pedal. I saw a review where a BMW GT4 driver, Team BMW, an actual race car driver, tested out the haptic pedals from SimhHub or whoever has those. And he's like, this is ridiculous. You don't feel anything on the throttle in a real race car. So what is this active throttle thing? You wouldn't feel that. You will feel certain things on the brake pedal when that's going on, like, but not on the throttle. So that's maybe that's a gimmick, but who's to say? I'm sure it's really awesome to feel all that and have it. It's immersive. It's like, and I'm not one that thinks that we're trying to replicate race cars identically, right? I want it to be immersive. I want it to be fun. I want it to be ergonomically correct. But if my sim racing chair in my office doesn't feel exactly like a GT4 BMW, who cares? I'm never going to drive a GT4 BMW. I just want to have fun. So one drawback there, the pedals, unless you turn them down right off the bat, it was a little bit annoying. I had to turn them down, and then I'll have to race with it more and get used to it and figure out where the level is there, and then go from there. But I'm also, you see the wheel stand behind me? I'm going to build something similar to that to mount those amps on, so they're not in that old console off the old rig that I ripped apart and never painted or anything. So look for some more updates as far as that goes. And I'm going to try to wire up the rest of this system tomorrow. If so, I'll put another video out on that. It won't need to be as long as this one was. If you got this far, you're a hero. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later.